Hey guys! Today we're going to attempt to make a Toy Story 4 Gabby Gabby doll. I have here a sheet of Gabby pictures that I printed out from online. Now, I've never made a doll this complex out of just a picture. I did make the Raven doll last time using just a picture, but that was a much simpler doll than this one. So this is going to be more of a journey than just a straight tutorial. This Gabby Gabby is going to be a little more complex, and we're going to see if we can figure it out. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is cut out the pieces that we need to make our doll. There we go. I think that's everything. We have her eyes, her dress, her shoes, her head shape, and the outline of the basic doll. Now let's see if we can make a doll out of this. First, I'm going to outline the basic shape of the doll onto a piece of light flesh tone felt. Then I cut it out. Next, I cut out the eyes out of white felt and the pupils out of black felt. Next, we have to sew on our eyes onto our felt piece. So I'm just going to place the picture back on top of that and kind of figure out where the eyes should be by placing the felt underneath it and kind of feeling around. There we go. I think I got it. Now let's sew it in place. I'll do the same thing for the other one and sew that in place as well. Then I sewed on the pupils and added some eyelashes. I used embroidery thread to add pink eyelids. And when that was finished, I used the doll again to figure out where placement would be for the mouth. And then I sewed her mouth in place. This is future me. Just remember this part. I used the picture to measure where the mouth should be. So you would think that this would turn out okay, right? Well, we'll see. Anyway, I used the same pink embroidery thread to sew on a mouth. Next, I used yellowish orange embroidery thread to sew on freckles. I thought this part turned out pretty cute. And last for her face, I added on some orange eyebrows. Next, I placed our doll upside down on another piece of light flesh tone fabric, and it was time to sew. I decided to pin the original cutout on top so that I would really make sure to get all the lines right. But did I get all the lines right? Not quite. Next, I cut out the doll. I added some cuts in the corners And then I turned her inside out. I compared the printout to the doll, and I noticed that her arms look like little triangles instead of arms. So I made her wrong side out again, and I sewed her arms just a little bit better. You can see the green pencil where I sewed it better, and I recut out the notches. And then made her right side out again. I stuffed her with some polyfill stuffing. And then I realized you could kind of see the pencil marks showing through, but that's not really going to be a big deal because I think her dress is going to cover it. Next, I used a blanket stitch to sew up the bottom. For her dress, I compared the cutout of the dress to the doll and then used it as a guide to cut out 2 dress pieces. It was about this time that I noticed her mouth was really low, and her head doesn't really have a round shape. It kind of goes into a point like a triangle. But her mouth being almost to the top of her dress was what really concerned me. I almost gave up here, but I soldiered on because I thought maybe it'll turn out okay. I cut it down to size just a little bit before proceeding, and then I stitched up the sides and the shoulders. I added a white rectangle to the front of her dress, and then I added a white collar. Next, I sewed on a little white belt. And I added some rickrack to the bottom to make it look like lace. Except for the mouth looking super low and the head not quite being round, I think it's looking okay so far. Now it's time for the shoes. I used a piece of yellow felt and kind of cut it and measured it to go on the bottom of the doll's feet. Once I got it to the size I wanted, I added a piece of white rickrack and a thin piece of white felt to each side. I folded the piece right side together, and I sewed up the edges. Then I turned it inside out and put it on the doll's feet and sewed it in place. To make it look like she had 2 legs instead of just one huge leg going down her body, I used some yellow thread and sewed up the middle, and then I used white thread to give her some legs. I used this orangish brown colored yarn to give her some hair. I wrapped it around several times and then folded it in half. I placed it on the doll's head and sewed it on from ear to ear. Once it was secured on her head, I cut all of the loops. Then I cut her bangs. I separated the back part of her hair into 2 pieces. One piece I sewed to the back of her head, And then I pulled the top pieces into 2 pigtails. I used thin pieces of yellow felt to make bows for her hair. I cut her hair down to size, and that's it. Now we have a Gabby Gabby doll from Toy Story 4. This was my first time making a complex doll this way, and I think I'm gonna make some changes next time around. I definitely want my next doll's face to be rounder instead of this triangle shape. If you see the comparison between the 2 pictures right here, you'll see that it doesn't quite match up. But I like her overall. I think she's kind of cute. So I hope you enjoyed going on this journey with me to make my Gabby doll. And stay tuned for next time because I know my next doll is going to be even better. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe. See you next time. Have a great day.